Jesse's biblical question, and then I got to end it. I think I got to end it. But Jesse's biblical question is, what is your nature? Had anybody thought about that all week? Let me ask him, and then I'll ask some people.
Personally, I don't think I have a nature, because Jesse's always talking about, we aren't in control, like God's in control. Either that or, who else?
Yeah.
Satan. But so basically, I have one nature or the other. And I'm either of my daddy, the devil, which I'm not, or I'm of my father, the God. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw a middle finger at you. But that's it. Those are the only two options right there. Because otherwise, I'm saying that I'm in control, so I am God. Yeah. And that's not correct.
Interesting. Yeah. To add to his point really quick, I think also, you can hold the mic for a second, is that I think we should also be careful of saying that I'm not, right? Because when you said either of the God nature or the sin nature, which I'm not, or the Satan nature, which I'm not, right?
Well, I forgave my mother. I mean, I will say I'm not, and I'm not going to take that back, because what you're saying, right, earlier, I want to say this about Christians, right, in general. Like, if you are willing to forgive your mother for doing all this bad and sin, if you're willing to forgive your father for not protecting you and all that, then why can't you forgive others for their sins in real time and still extend love to them and allow them to overcome as well?
Well, I think you're right in the sense that we should do that. Well, go ahead, finish your point. Go ahead.
No, and on top of that, I'm just saying basically, no, you go ahead, actually.
Well, the only thing I say is that that's also a setup from Satan when we say, well, we're not. Because then we start to think that we're not, and then we act out like, oh, I'm walking in the spirit. Meanwhile, Satan is busy and we're doing things, but he has us convinced that, oh, no, that's not bad. That's not. When at any moment, let me just make this point, at any moment, and this has happened before in my life, and sometimes God will humble you in the sense of, soon as you think at any moment you're not this, I will never do that, I won't do that, you will. And God will make it evident that because he wants you to know that without him, you're them. Right? Without him, you're just like everybody else. That's why I don't judge the homeless person. If I do, and I have judged the homeless person before, and God almost kind of made me homeless, I didn't eat for 2 days one time. You are the first people I told. I know, that seems like a suburban answer, right? But for me, that was hard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
I almost died. No, I'm playing. It wasn't that bad. But for me...
You got 5 more days before you're...
But see, now other people, and look, you're right, maybe 2 days is not long for you. But let me tell you, 2 days at that time was long for me, right? But the point is that all my accounts got closed. My money was gone. I couldn't get to work. My car died. I couldn't I had to call off work. All that stuff was happening, right? And all that stuff was happening because I had judgment in my heart. So then he was like, well, you think that, well, let me show you that you're no better. And that was the case was for me. He had to show me and reveal to me that you're no better. Look, I could take all this from you. So that's what I'm saying is like, never say never. I'll never be homeless because I'll make sure I have a job. It could be taken away. So that was just my point when it came to that, right?
Well, I just wanted to say one thing real quick, actually, too. But the first thing is that yesterday, sorry, this lip is just, it hurts. So, but not that bad. But basically, I fed a homeless person. And last week, Jesse was saying, don't feed the homeless people. Well, I didn't feed him right in front of Bond or anything.
Right.
Sorry, Jesse. But I fed this guy because he asked me for food.
Right.
Straight out. That's all he asked for. He didn't ask me for money. Yeah. And so what I did is I cut a quarter of my food that I had bought and I was waiting on. And I gave it to him because he wanted to eat. Yeah. Right? And that's it. And like, Jesse, I don't agree. Like, feed the hungry. I feel like I saw in the Bible that, Christ did feed the hungry. Anyways. And I'll stand out against on my opinions, like you're talking about, which is my whole thing. Like, I don't Jesse Thump, but I definitely quote him a lot.
Yeah.
And I definitely say things to people. I mean, that's probably why I got this fat lip.
Maybe that was God's version of humbling you. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's up for you. That's up for you to decide. But just because I had to wrap it up here, I appreciate that. But that's just my only point. Yeah. You said what?
Sorry.
But that was just my only point is, and then I'll go to Doug real quick. But that's my only point is that we just have to also never say never, never say what we won't do, because just leave it up and just we'll see. You know what I mean? Because God will do what he's going to do, and God's in control, so be careful. That's why it's a fear God. Not to tremble with fear, but just know that, like, you're not in control and that he'll do what he's going to do. Doug.
Just to add something to never say never, the same thing can apply to, I'm walking on water, I'm doing this, same thing could be applied to that side of it.
Exactly. Thinking that you got it together. And we don't have nothing without the Spirit leading us in all things. So unless somebody else is walking on water and my take on it is incorrect, I'm open to understanding. But I've been in situations where God had to humble me because I was just arrogance. Arrogance is of the devil. Arrogance is not of God. And a thought of us that we're better than the next or whatever is the thoughts of Satan make us feel mighty. So that's just my take on it. My take on Jesse Biblical question, what is your true nature? I think that our true nature is the spirit within. I don't know what Jesse's answer is going to be, but the spirit within, our actual spirit from God. I think that's a piece of God. And in that spirit, we never wanted to have sex. We never wanted to drink alcohol. We never wanted to escape in general in that true spirit. We actually, in our core, don't want to do all the things that we think that we want to do. Want doesn't even exist. You know what I mean? Want is not real. Want only comes from Satan saying you want. Mm-hmm. And you're identifying with the voice saying, like, dang, I want a donut. I want this, right? I want coffee. I want this. It's Satan telling you you want it. You believe it. Now you're hungry, right? Mm-hmm. But the real you would never put yourself through it, right? And I feel like that's what the true nature is, the spirit. And we have to get to that by denying the thoughts, doing a silent prayer. And eventually, I feel we get to a place to where we're always present at all times. We're always in a constant state of meditation or observation, the silent prayer. We're always present. And there's never a thought into the mind, right? To where we do this or this, right? So I think that's the true nature, the spiritual nature within that comes from God, that is perfect in all things. And it's still perfect right now when the thoughts are all gone. Nobody's have no problems right now. There's zero problems that anybody has, including myself, in the room when we're present. Those don't even exist. There's no trauma. There's no nothing. It's all made up. We believe into it, and then we act it out. So that's my take on it. I don't know what Justice Take is going to be on it. I don't know.